Hello, President Chartrand. Yeah.
Hello there. Good lunchtime, I'll call it. Not good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing okay. We're just we're carrying on. We're hanging in there, and we do miss the phone callers, but that's okay. We're glad that we got a hold of you to give us our message, because that's what we need.
Okay, well, the Métis never gets stuck, so we're trying a different way. I'm calling to Ollie's phone. Ollie's got the phone against the microphone. And so, again, I'm sure Cowboy and others will try to get this problem fixed. The phones are not working. So I hope my voice is coming loud and clear to the citizens right across. The listeners of NCI.
Yeah. Before we go any further, President Chartrand, are you on speakerphone right now?
Yes. You want me to take it off there?
Yes, please.
Is this better?
Oh, yes, much better.
Okay, excellent. Okay, thank you for that. I'm just out in DePaul right now. DePaul regional meeting is taking place. I just finished speaking here. Nice little packed house, and a lot of local leaders are all here. And it's good to see so many so proactive towards the Métis direction we're taking as a government, and many looking at the upcoming assembly that's coming in October. We're hoping, in fact, that it won't be changed. I am concerned again, of course, there's evacuees. They're still in Winnipeg. There's still quite a bit. We do hear that, of course, many are going home, and the unfortunate point is I wish well for all the chiefs and council, because they're in for one hell of a challenge, because given the fact they left their homes so long, probably their freezers could be in trouble, their fridges, their products, purchase of food and so forth can have an effect on them. Things expired, things of that nature. So I wish the chiefs well and the challenge they face in upcoming. Of course, we've done our job, and I think our team working very well again with all the evacuees. And I can't tell you enough of the thank yous we get from citizens, from First Nation bands all across the North. Of course, we know most of all of the people in the evacuees situation is First Nation, and they've been unfortunately in a bad location due to the degree of how the fires affected them and their beautiful communities. So again, it's going to be a tough situation, but we're going to be there to help throughout the process. We have at least 30 staff working on this, helping out with this initiative. And I can't, as I say, repeat myself on this one. I'm so proud. So many of the First Nation citizens have been so kind with words to our workers. When they get there, they go shopping, get their baby clothes, get their baby supplies, their own personal hygiene stuff they need, clothing. Actually, I have a bunch of shoes here that I'm going through. I'm going to take them to. They need shoes there also, men's clothing, and so I donated a lot already. I'm going to see what more I can donate, and because there are a lot of people with built in good shape like me, I guess, heavy set, muscle. They need bigger shirts. 2X and 1X doesn't work. Yeah. So, anyways. But we're still working very hard and making sure we can do everything to make their lives easier and one as comfortable as possible, because it is hard. Those in hotel rooms are still fortunate enough to find themselves in a place where at least they have some privacy. However, there's others that are still in these locations, whether it's the RBC Center or Lila, and they're sleeping in cots amongst hundreds of people around them. So, and you can't get privacy there, nor can your children have privacy if people are next door snoring or making noise or up late at night. So it's very, very hard. The stress must be so hard. So we use a lot of our accommodations. We're very pleased to continue donating our accommodations, helping out any way that we can, helping to make sure that, and of course our camps are still doing very well. The Tree Hern camp is exceptionally doing a great service to so many. And because the Tree Hern camp's got everything. It's got internet, it's got TVs, washer and dryers, private bedrooms, it's got a big giant kitchen, and it's got a gymnasium, and on and on and on. So people love it out there, and better than sleeping in a cot. Okay. And so I'm very, very, very pleased. Again, the response we're getting from so many people that are out there. But this regional meeting is going very well. Lorraine Oreshka opened up with a prayer, and she's actually from Flin Flon. She's one of the cleanest blueberry pickers you'll come across. And, I've been in blueberry picking myself, my family, since I was a kid. And, you get used to get elbow. And I only get mad if add leaves in there or sticks,
That's
You
like
have to
my
make sure
dad.
Your blueberries would the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at Lorraine's, oh man, but they haven't picked in the north, and I'm worried too in the south because of the dry weather. The blueberries are still small, and maybe this rain that's finally come its way will give them the chance to get them to where they should be in expanding their size. But I know Ron Burwash here in Flin Flon said the same thing. He went to his location, and the berries were so small, and then Lorraine was saying the smoke was so bad, it was hard for them too. So, but they still want to do it. That's just part of who we are. Blueberry picking, trapping, fishing, tourism, going out and doing business. All these things are part of our traditional economies. And Daryl Furlan, of course, our minister, is really pushing these agendas to keep on moving forward. Infinity of Women also spoke here, but through Zoom. Anita couldn't get hotel rooms out here. They're limited availability because, again, evacuees and other business ventures happening here. But we did announce, again, she announced the new transition center being built, and construction's on its way, and that's going to be in Breezy. And that will deal, of course, women that are needing safety away from abuse and intolerance. And like I said, I've seen a video where this guy hit his woman. I couldn't believe it. He punched her, lifted her right off her feet. Like that guy should be, I don't know. Like in the old days, that guy wouldn't get away with this, I'll tell you that. But anyways, I can't mention names or anything, but I was so upset about it. And this transition center, unfortunately, is still needed. I hope there'll be a day when women don't have to feel threatened by their boyfriends and husbands or men who will try to fight them or abuse them. And so, but this transition center should give safety to children and women that are in need. So I think I want to give kudos to Anita and Cindy Woman for that. And say very clear, it's very important. We do everything in our power to Métis way, take care of our women, protect them, because they take care of us, and they ensure that we are in a good place as a community, as a family, as a nation. So it's something we must always do. And also, as you heard probably by now, or read yourself, Ollie, we signed an MOU with the Southern Chiefs Organization.
Yeah.
And where my government and the SU organization, along with the governments of First Nations, the bands, will be working together and moving forward. We're trying to get prepared for Bill C-5, which is coming into Canada. And again, to remind people what Bill C-5 is, it's fast-tracking the process of consultation so industry can start to do its function and compete with finding new opportunity to get our product out to market, because we can't go to the United States now. We're locked out of there. And really the economy is going to be in great trouble. Our country's going to be in great financial trouble if we don't find a way to get our natural resources to market outside of our traditional deals with the United States is now gone. We need to find a new player, a new marketer. So that's underway right now. And so we're going to talk together, the Grand Chief and his chiefs will be sitting. Hopefully there'll be a summit coming up where we can go and speak about some of the initiatives we're doing. They can speak on some of their internal initiatives. I'll give you an example. The Crown of Hydro is pushing out the wind power. And these windmills will be coming. And we are, of course, bidding for 200 megawatt. I know that other First Nations are also bidding for theirs. And so we had some good discussions with some of them. They've asked for our support, and I said that our doors are open to support you and work with you. And so we're ahead of the game in developing this. We've been working on this for a couple of years now. And so we're waiting for the tender to be finalized. It's been extended to give time because their demands at Hydro are a little too far-fetching, if you ask me. But I think they're going to modernize their tendering process a little more to the need and demand and to the player. That's clearly part of this, because they can't do it to anybody else but only First Nation Métis government. So from our standpoint, putting in a tender process that's too complicated or too extreme, it doesn't do anybody a justice. So right now they're reorganizing themselves at Hydro, but that will be coming out. And that 200 megawatts, just to give people that are listening an example, there's 600 megawatts in total. The maximum you can bid for is 200 megawatts, but 200 megawatts should cost you about 450 to 500 million to build them.
Whoa.
So that's not pocket change. That's a lot of money, and that's probably the budget of all the bands in one area. So what we need to do is figure out how do we move our agenda and let our Indigenous people have opportunity in business and jobs, but at the same time ownership. So that's something we're working on, and I know that for the SCO and others that are partnering and want to partner with us, we want to partner with them, that we have common grounds. And Chief Daniel should be applauded for his vision. He's 42 years old, and I told him I called him a young boy. I'm 65. So I said, I've been at this for a long time. I tried for 28 years. I tried through different Grand Chiefs, and they would not be able to, they did not fulfill or believe they got the green light to move forward, and so that partnership never commenced. So that's unfortunate. We lost a lot of years. As I said, I spoke to every Grand Chief talking about that partnership, and it never came. They liked it, but for some reason they couldn't convince their executive to go and partner. And for me, Molly, I don't understand for the life of me. Even the discussions we have with First Nation citizens right now that are coming, and then we're helping them in the evacuee. They see us as part of their family. They see us as relatives, and they're so pleased that MMF government's there to work with them, help them, and be there. Why they see us as enemies, I don't understand for the life of me. Right. Why they worry about us having an equal opportunity is beyond me, because I believe that our rights are definitely guaranteed, no lesser than theirs. So why do we see it being an obstacle or seeing us as an enemy when you could partner with non-Indigenous people and even people from different countries without hesitation? But you have a problem partnering with the Métis, your relatives. So I think that's unfortunately a situation where, government has done a hell of a good job in convincing a lot of these leaders to be jealous. And that is not our way. It's not our cultural way. It's not the way we were raised. Nope. Not the way my mom raised me. My mom raised me to be proud. If somebody gets ahead, you be proud of them. That's an example that others can follow. They too can get ahead. Yeah. So from that perspective, I don't see where they're coming from in their mind. I don't understand for the life of me. I'm not jealous. If they do well, I'm very happy for them. And let's hope they do well. Because one of the things that should shake those that don't want to partner, they should shake their head a little bit and ask themselves, okay, what vision do I have in 10 years from now? My communities and my reserve is 70% unemployment. I got no factories here. I got no other jobs. I got no other ways to take care of their families. Our people can't be living on welfare or suing government on potential unfinished business and then hope that's going to solve your problem. Like cows and plows. Good for them for suing and threatening and getting a settlement, but that $30,000 is gone. That's individual settlements. But that's not even a full annual income. But you can't sue them again on that issue. It's finished. So what happens to the family? So the family needs a job. They need a long-term guaranteed commitment. They need to ensure that their jobs are in place so they can raise their families with pride, raise their families to have visions of reality that will come true, that they can have a better future. That's what it's all about. That's what my goal as a federation president is, to make sure there's employment. I told that to Minister Moses when I met with him. He's the minister responsible for economic development. I said, okay, show me your Métis business plan. I want to see it. I want to see in our villages, we have 70%, sometimes 80% unemployment. Show my plan. Don't show me a pan-Aboriginal or a dream or something that's 20 years away. Show me something that's going to start today and change our lives tomorrow, but make it better as years go by. Show me your Métis plan. He doesn't have one. So that's something I'll be echoing which I in some ways did to the Premier already. Show me a Métis plan. Like the First Nation would be saying, show me your First Nation plan that we're going to have jobs and businesses in our communities. One of the things we talk about is AI, internet. That's where the world is going to. Electric cars. They're talking about all the IT world. The AI is so advanced. Our kids are pretty smart on it. But check our school systems. Check our curriculums in our schools. We don't have it. Kids are learning on their own from playing games or just using and being smart enough. But imagine if they had it as part of their curriculum and they were taught to be developing program for computers. Then they could start a business right in their own community, right in their village. That means they don't have to go away because technology is so advanced you can do it from your house. But there's nothing there. So these are the types of discussions we should be having, First Nations, maybe. Why don't we have joint businesses? Like us, we opened a pharmacy, Métis pharmacies. I just told a crowd here, we have Métis pharmacies for a reason. First of all, we knew our people couldn't afford medicine, so we had to make revenue to give them free medicine, 55 and older. But now, I said we need to expand this. I'm going to open another pharmacy in Selkirk. I'm opening one in Brandon. and then we're going to continue probably more making more pharmacies to the west. But that could be done in other plans, in future plans, because that creates jobs, but it also creates revenue. So we need to start, but we own it. That's the difference. We own it. So like I told you, I should have got his name. Great, nice guy. Met him at the gas station, Pimatoyang. I stopped there, turned around, and went and got gas there. And we talked, and one of the things he said to me, and there's a good vision of a citizen of Pimatoyang. He's looking, he said, all the gas stations from here all the way to the northeast that are owned by people from India. Right. He said, we're only a few of us left, he said. And that's true. And no disrespect to the people from India, but they're really interconnected. And if they want to shut down the transportation to Thompson from Winnipeg and shut down all their stores and gas stores, well, how the hell are you going to get home? Thank God you got Pimatoyang in the middle of nowhere. So when you start looking at these kinds of things, where's the vision? Where's the economic vision of the future? Well, then it's better change soon, or else you're going to have poverty and continued poverty. And we got to find a way out. One of the things I'm proud of, we have 2,600 students in universities right now. 2,600. I'm very, very proud of that, because we give 5,000 to nearly, I think, 2,300 of them. I think we gave over 10 million last year. So the numbers keep on growing. But it's telling me our people are going to have an head start in life. They're going to have a degree, and they're going to have a passageway to the future. But what it also tells you, however, is that you're draining your communities. When our citizens get their degrees and get their training done, well, they're not going to get a job there. They're going to get a job in the cities. Yeah. So what does that mean? You're emptying your little villages, because there's no job for them to go home to. They'd love to stay home, but they can't go back. If they get a degree, for example, I use Dugvega, I come from there. If they go get a degree, when some of the students come from there, they get a degree. Well, what are they going to get a job in Dugvega with a degree? There's no jobs there. Right. So they have to leave town. And that means you're emptying your intellectual wealth. Your brain trust is going away. Yeah. So we got to find ways of creating jobs in our small villages and communities, and we need to stand behind them. I asked the people here today, I said, one guy, I won't say his name, he said, where do you get your medicine from? Walmart, he said. Well, I said to him, tell me what Walmart does for you. Yeah, we give free medicine. You're over 55. We give you free medicine from our pharmacy. And the only way I can give you free medicine is by selling medicine and making money and profit, so I can give you free medicine. But is Walmart going to give you free medicine? Is Walmart going to be there when your family's in trouble? I said, we build a Ronald McDonald House. It's ours. We just call it Ronald McDonald so people can capture what it is. Really, it's an apartment block where our citizens can come when they have doctor appointments, hospital appointments, bring their family, and then at the same time pay a small fee just to have a place to live and be together. Because the hotels are too expensive, they can't afford it. So we built that on Notre Dame. I said, that place is mostly going to be for the North. But how do I build these institutions of need for you if you're not supporting your own government? So that's what we got to train our citizens, educate our citizens to start buying Indigenous product from our stores, our gas stations, our pharmacies. Like we have a pharmacy in Dauphin. We have a second pharmacy there. We have a lot of First Nations that are using it already. But how much more can you use it there? There's so many that can come there, but they're still going to the Dauphin pharmacy or probably the superstores or whatever the store is. I don't forget what that store is called. Maybe a Safeway pharmacy, whatever, Shoppers, if there's one there. Like, they'll go there. But how does that institution ever help them, right? How does it really support their reserve or their family? Yeah. As relatives, it doesn't. So we've got to show our people, we've got to support our business. And I'm telling you, a good example is the Jewish community. They will drive from one end town to the other to support their businesses. They don't take a shortcut and take the first store that comes by. They'll drive all the way to that store because it's owned by a Jewish family. Yet we will drive right past those stores, right past those community businesses that are Indigenous, and go to a big store. Yes, and maybe it's a few bucks cheaper, but that few bucks cheaper is gone out of your wallet and it's gone to somebody else. It'll never come back. Right. So, but if you help that store, help that business, then it stays. And then when you need it, it's always there. That's why you got to spend an extra few dollars. That's why, even in Canberra, it's owned by a Vietnamese people, I'm sorry. But I stopped there not to help, like it's a Vietnamese family, that's not my priority, but it's to make sure that the store still stays open in Camberville, so citizens don't have to travel 50 miles, 60 miles to go shopping when there's some product they can buy in the store. That day doesn't have one grocery store, not one. Everyone that tried to have a grocery store didn't last long because the people would still drive to Dauphin or Swan and shop there. So, but now when you need something at 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock for supper, you need milk, well, where do you get it from? There's no store now.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the type of thinking we've got to change. We've got to empower the process. And I had a chance to speak with the mayors, Northern Affairs Community Council. I was invited by Cheryl Matheson, the new president. I was never invited to speak before. I've been president for 28 years. So I had a chance to go and reflect. Like, I don't know, I can't recall if I was ever invited, to be honest with you. But I know I never spoke in NECC for effort. They never invited me. But I had a chance to go and they wanted for me to speak on inspiration on the future. So I talked about each and all the mayors and councilors. I said, what does your community tell you it's going to have in the future? Where's it going? How many of you have a plan? What's your plan? How are you making a difference to the citizens that you represent there? Mm-hmm. And understand your budgets each of you get can't even afford to keep their doors open, really. You're under budget. You walk into your communities, your villages, you look at the ball yards and, the school yards where there's some opportunity, whether it's basketball, whether there's baseball. They're all empty of diamonds. The baseball diamonds are all empty. Why are they empty? They used to be full. And we were poured in, but we had jobs. Mm-hmm. The people at least would have a chance, the kids would have a proactive chance of being proactive instead of walking the streets in the middle of the night with nothing to do. So at NECC, I said, I know I'm not blaming you, but the government's failing. The government gives you funding, and it's not giving you, it gives you nothing for sports, gives you nothing for culture. It actually, if it does, is by the pennies, and you really can't do anything. I said, we could give you money, but then when we gave you money, you don't want to report back to us. So why do you feel that you don't have to report back to my government? And yet you have to report to a white government. And the money's the same. Mm-hmm. The amount of money I would support your initiatives would be the same. But why do you believe you don't have to show respect to my government, but you have to show respect to white government? So really, we had a good discussion. We talked about common goals, branding. We talked about the economy is a number one. We talked about the future. We talked about the drug problem they have in the communities. Mm-hmm. And what's the solution? There is no solution right now. And we talked about the RCMP and their role because they were giving a presentation there. So overall, it went very well. The good response I got, good reception I got from so many Métis mayors and councillors was well received by myself and my government. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, my doors are open to partner and work with you as much as I can. But you got to respect my government as I would respect yours. So we had a good discussion, and I think Cheryl was very pleased as a president, and definitely wants to continue working with the Métis government. So that's another example of where because they were used before against us. I will share that on this report. The provincial government used to use mayors and councils against MMF, mm-hmm. saying that they didn't have to consult with MMF because they already consulted a Métis mayor or a Métis councillor. But if you look at the Northern Affairs Act, that's not their jurisdiction. They have nothing to do with representing First Nation rights or Métis rights. So how can you consult with them on rights if it's not their jurisdiction nor their responsibility? Mm-hmm. So it was just a tactical move to avoid dealing and respecting my government, which now they can't. We beat them in the courts. They can't get it anymore. But I told that and educated the mayors and council. That's somebody who had been there. I saw you. And I don't know why it was that you would not work with your Métis government who was trying to make a difference in your village and community. Because my people live there. My job is to try and make a better situation for them. In order to do that, let's work together, not fight against each other. Mm-hmm. So these are examples, again, of us, the Federation. You deal with the Southern Peace Organization, you deal with Northern Affairs communities. But these people are in there, and our citizens are living in those communities, and we need to find ways to make things better for them. So freshwater fish and all that, I'll give you a better report on that. We're still moving on that issue. Freshwater fish is something we're going to work together with and deal with in the future. My time is running out. I want to visit Non-Touch Brewery. I want to say that. It's a Métis owners. Mm-hmm. We funded and we're part owners, I believe. Matthew Suburban, Seb Borin, is the owner, and we had a very good visit with him. And I tell you, all of you have never been to non-such breweries. I'm telling you, it's the best burger joint I've ever had.
Oh,
I'm
good.
going there to be my regular stop in the future. They got a burger that's to fight for.
Okay.
They make their own chips, and it's like potato chips, the kind you buy in a bag, but they're a little thicker.
Yeah.
They have that. They make their own there. They have their own homemade French fries, and then they have all these fancy beers. I don't drink.
Yeah.
But they bought out all their branding and all the rest of the stuff they do. It was phenomenal. So I want to thank Matthew and his team, and they're doing exceptionally well. They're opening a second brewery.
Yeah.
In Osborne. So I wish them well. But if you ever have a chance, make sure you stop at Non-Such Brewery, and you can get yourself a hell of a burger that you will not believe. It's in the Exchange District in Winnipeg. You'll see the Lou Rail Memorial. You'll see a big moose on the wall and other stickers. It's on Pacific Avenue. I'm telling you, it's a place that I will be a regular attender. I tell you that. So I'm going to close off with saying thank you to the Chief and Council, Evan Flo, for flying the Métis flag. I want to thank, again, the Cameron Malcolm, I believe, had it on his website, and my nephew sent me a picture, and the flag was flying proudly with Canadian flag and American flag, and I know it's the American flag, but anyways, because, there are powwows also throughout the United States, and big powwows, and that's one thing I find so beautiful when you see the powwows, and the clothing they're wearing is phenomenal, phenomenal. The amount of work that probably went in, whether it's their headdress, or whether it's their dresses, or whether it's the men wearing their beadwork.
Oh, yeah.
It is just, or their quills, and it is stunning to see. And the energy to dance like that for so long, you've got to be in damn good shape, So people need to give them more credit on the concept of those dancers. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, and also the crafters of the beautiful artwork. So I'm closing off to say I'm happy Alfred Lee's coming home. He was in hospital in Ottawa for a while, so he's coming back to Winnipeg. He had some surgery done to his feet. He had injured his feet while he was out in Nepal. And especially get well wishes to Al Desjardins, one of our legends, and Métis musician, at the same time Métis organizer of musicians. And he's in the hospital, and send your prayers to his family. Don sends big hello to him, of course, Don Roulette. And him are very close. All of Roulette and him are close. So Al, you get better, and let's see you out of that hospital. And I know they're still worried. There's still complications and issues he's got to deal with. But we look forward to him coming back into the MMF and back into helping out as usual, helping us and make sure we can have the best events we can. And belated greetings to John Baggery, a citizen who stopped me to say hi in the airport when I was coming home from Ottawa last week. Thank you, John, and he was so proud to have the citizenship card. He just got it, and I was so proud to take a picture with John. And again, that's the pride we see in so many citizens coming home, getting their citizenship card, and saying proudly who they are, the Red River Métis. So, John, you be proud again, and I hope I see you in the airport again when I'm traveling throughout Canada. So take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you. And I hope my voice is clear. I apologize.
Perfect.
David McLeod, pay your phone bills, David McLeod. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next Saturday.
Thank you so much, David. Appreciate that. Have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.